Today is just the beginning. Thank you all and enjoy. And next, I will be bringing up Pastor Janet Jones, who will do the blessing. Let us pray. God, in this tender moment, we appreciate the ambivalency of this moment. The ambivalency that arises out of the reality that the needs continue to grow. And we give you thanks that even though we are saddened by the increased needs in every area of our society, especially among those who have less than others. But we are so grateful, oh God, for the lunch breaks of our nation, and especially lunch break of Red Bank, New Jersey. We thank you for the services it has provided over the years, and we give you thanks for this moment in which they seek to expand, to continue to provide services for more and more people who come to their doors. We thank you for their commitment, oh God, to do all the good that they can by all the means that they can and all the ways that they can and all the places and all the times and to all the people that they can, for as long as there is a need and as long as they are able. So as they begin this new phase, this greater phase, it is written that unless God builds the house, the builder builds in vain. So we thank you, God, for the founding of this organization, for the vision that you've given those who have led this organization over the years, and for the coming to fruition of this expansion. So we pray your blessings on all of the employees, all of the board members, all of the volunteers, all of those who will lead in the construction project, all of those who will actually do the labor, those who provide the funding, oh God, that makes this all possible. We thank you for the love that began lunch break. We thank you for the commitment to serving the community. We thank you, oh God, for the reality that love really does make the world go round. It is love that feeds the hungry. It's love that clothes the naked. It is love, oh God, that provide medical care and access to care and services and housing. So we just bless this beginning, this new beginning. And we bless the journey that is yet to come. And most of all, God, we thank you for the people who will be blessed because of this venture. And we thank you for the blessings of life and health and hope and promise. Hear our prayer today as we say together, Amen. Amen. And I am now going to bring up Ms. Gwen Love, our Executive Director, and she is going to take it from there. You okay? So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I mean, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing crowd. And
thank you so much for all your friend, or being a friend, and we have friends and families, and just people here that really love the work that Lunch Break is doing, and this is just absolutely amazing. It's actually overwhelming. It's actually overwhelming, but thank you all. And so we want to give honor to Mrs. Todd, who is one of the main founders of Lunch Break. Some 39 years ago, who actually saw this vision. The person that is going to speak for her is a little delayed, so we're going to hold it off just a little bit. But I want to tell you this, that I never had the pleasure and the honor to know Mrs. Todd, but once I came on, the words that others spoke about her for years after I came on, and even as of today, one of the volunteers that worked with her. I mean, I just know that I will have walked into some really serious shoes, and I could only work as hard as I could to make right what she started. So I feel very, very honored to be in the role that I am right now. Absolutely. So we're going to go out of sequence a little bit because, first of all, we're so blessed again to have all the dignitaries that we have here. Obviously, our First Lady, Tammy Murphy, and Tom Arnaud, he's our County Commissioner and Director. Senator Gopal, Ben Gopal, where he's at. And of course, Mayor Mena, our own Mayor Mena right here in Red Bank. And so many others that are on the council. We have Ross Citra here, who's also a commissioner as well, and also the executive director for the SPCA. We're very, very close with him as well. I mean, there's a lot here. And maybe just raise your hand because I know that there's many, many others here. There's Kathy Horgan, who's on the council. Kate Triano. Where's Ed Zipprich? Where's he at? He's there. Okay, I know I'm missing some other people. Kim Ulner from Shrewsbury. Sue Kiley, yes. Pretty in pink over there. Yes, yes. If I'm missing anybody, please raise your hand. Please, please, please. I don't want to be... Okay, absolutely. Well, Juanita Lewis. Yes, she's Juanita Lewis. She's on the planning board. Sharon Lee on the zoning board. Zoning board. Yes. So okay. Help me out, y'all. Okay. Help me out. This is a lot. But we're going to go out of sequence a little bit because we do have some folks that do need to leave. Director Arnone and Citra, they both have to leave. They had to go to a funeral. So First Lady Murphy was kind enough to allow them to come before her. And so, do you want to come on? Sure.
Thank you, and I want to thank you, Tammy. I want to thank you for allowing us to come up here first there. So this is a great day in Monmouth County, and I'm here joined with our commissioners here, Sue Kiley, Ross Citra, and Nick Duraco. I am a firm believer when I came in that government does things good, government does things real bad. And the things that they do real bad, get out of and put it into the people's hands that do real good. And that's why we're here today. Because Monmouth County is such a supporter of putting the need that are needed here in Monmouth County in the hands of people like Lunch Break. And having this expansion here in Monmouth County is such a benefit. But you need our help, and you're going to get our help. And I can promise you that. And I sit here with 4 of us. And so that's a majority. So I'm telling you, we're like both in session right here. Yeah, so, and I will tell you, I say it with pleasure. Because your past experience here and what you have done for the community here in Red Bank, what you've done in Monmouth County shows. And we see it. And we know we can never do it better. So let's take the resources that we have and give it to you. And more importantly, say it loud and clear to everybody here so you can hold us to that. Okay? That we want you to succeed and we're going to help you succeed. But it's because of each and every one that are here today. You make it happen. You make us look good. You make Monmouth County look good. Congratulations, well deserved, and good luck. And I do have a recognition here, and as Vin and I, we've been giving them out for the last few days, and we both say, we're not going to read these things. Nobody wants to hear them. And I'm not going to read it, because you know each and everything that we have in here, you help put in here. So congratulations. We're going to hang this on the new wall, and we'll be here to cut that ribbon.
Tom, let's do a picture.
Want to grab a picture? Guys.
Let him go first. Here we go. Great. Face me. There you go. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And now we're going to bring on our First Lady of the state of New Jersey, Tammy Murphy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much to Gwen Love for everything that she does. It is great to be here today with this incredible turnout of elected officials. I have to give a small point of pride shout out to Senator Vin Gopal. Former Senator Joe Carrillis and Susan. To the County Commissioner Director, and also obviously to Mayor Mena. It's great for you all to be here. Thank you. And while we're at it, how about my incredibly wonderful old friends who are co-chairing this, Robin and John Klein, Valerie and Frank Montalvo, and my oldest friends of 20 minutes ago, Paul and Margot Hooker. Of course, to John and Tracy Stewart as well. So thank you to everybody. As I walked into this tent, I have to say, this is our county. I mean, these are the people who show up repeatedly every single day. You are what make it work. And it's not just the elected, it's every single person on the ground. I cannot thank you enough. We've had the most unprecedented past several years. We have really suffered through this together, but New Jersey has grit, and it's been incredible to watch as everybody dug in and gave everything they could of themselves. I was here at lunch break over the course of the pandemic and saw the incredible ways that you adapted and you made sure that people were not left without. What you do here is more than just providing meals. It's more than providing wraparound services. What you do is you provide hope, and you give people the respect that they truly deserve. That is something that is priceless, because we've all had bad days. We all know people who need help, and no one wants to ask for help. And when you actually stop, look people in the eye, and say, I'm here for you, God bless you all. I mean, it's really wonderful. So with this groundbreaking, I cannot wait to see all the great things you're going to do. Hard to fathom. You've been here for nearly 40 years. I really cannot believe it. But I've watched it with my own eyes for 25 years now. So really so grateful to all of you. I think everybody here knows. Everybody in this tent certainly knows. We have all certainly been given so much. And there is much more that's expected of us. So thank you for digging down deeply. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you're doing here and now, and for what you will do going forward in making this new lunch break, the expanded lunch break, even more successful for all the people in our community. Thank you.
Okay, we've never been beat up by balloons before, but this is a new thing. And so now, thank you so much for that, Mrs. Murphy. We were so honored really to have you here. and speaking those beautiful words about lunch break. We appreciate that so much. And so now we're going to bring up Senator Vin Gopal. The most handsome senator in the world. We have it right here in New Jersey.
Good way to start. Thank you. I remember as a high school student, and a shout out to Dr. Sykoff in the back, we used to take a trip to lunch break. And I do remember meeting Mrs. Todd on a number of occasions. And I was touched as a 15, 16-year-old watching the love and decency she showed to every single person who came into lunch break. And she didn't know them, she didn't know where they're from, she didn't care what their race or religion or anything else was. She helped them, and she helped them move forward. And Gwen and all of you, Juanita, you continue that mission and that vision here at lunch break. So as Director Arnone says, I'm not going to read this proclamation. It's on behalf of the New Jersey State Senate, just to recognize the incredible work lunch break continues to do. One of the, there's a lot of places, I'm sorry, I meant to start off with this, that the First Lady could be here. It's incredible that she's here right now. Thank you, First Lady, for the message. I had a little excitement. I saw her, she has like a public schedule. I said, she's going to lunch breaks. I got super excited. So, but that's amazing. Of all the places, and she's in demand throughout the state, that she's choosing to be here speaks volumes of the work that lunch break is doing. One of the great elected leaders in the history of New Jersey always will be my friend Senator Joe Kyrillos. Senator Kyrillos, as you may know, is a Republican. I'm a Democrat. We launched the School of Civil Discourse at Monmouth University, and we've talked about organizations like Lunch Break because they help everyone, and they work so hard just to make sure that every family has the opportunity. Some of you may remember last year during the pandemic, a little girl started crying from Monmouth County. Actually, I saw Patch was here. They covered it. And in the middle of her class, she started crying because she was hungry. Because during the pandemic, she wasn't able to get to school, and they couldn't identify through the free and reduced lunch program that she wasn't even getting one meal at home. So organizations like Lunch Break are so incredibly important. And on my end, a 501c3 nonprofit that I launched 8 years ago, the Senator Kyrillos, so many others, we're going to donate $5,000 to you guys, and we're going to continue to support the incredible work that Lunch Break does. And we know we're going to continue to be there every step of the way. But thank you to all the volunteers for all you do each and every day. God bless you, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you, Vin. Those words were beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And so we are going to now bring on our mayor of Red Bank, Mayor Mena.
Good afternoon. It is so wonderful to see so many of you here today. First Lady, thank you for joining us in your home again. This is your home, so thank the governor for coming back just in time from Ireland to be here for this. That's how important lunch break is. They moved up their flight to be here on time. They didn't want to miss it, so thank the governor for that. Second note is I just want to, everybody's thanked all the donors and all of the trustees, and they should be thanked. But I want to thank the clients, some of whom are here, because you make lunch break what it is. And I also want to welcome the youngest people out there who are our volunteers. This is a great day for Red Bank. And Reverend Jones, when I first walked in, I said, it's a long program. She said, a program is only as long as the speakers speak. So, and then she kicked me in my shins, and she put a bruise on it. And she's a person of the cloth. But in any event, it's a great day. It's a monumental day for Red Bank, for Monmouth County, and I was so pleased the commissioners were here. And of course our senators, both Senator Kyrillos and Senator Gopal, and our assembly people. One person missing here, but she's here in spirit, Norma Todd. A lot has been said about people who didn't know Norma Todd. Well, I knew Norma Todd. Now you know how old I am. I knew Norma Todd when I first became engaged in what was then called the art of politics in Red Bank. And lunch break was the embryonic dream of really wonderful people. And before I was elected to council, I think it was the year before I was elected, I was asked to serve on the original lunch break soup kitchen board of trustees that was in the basement of St. Thomas Episcopal Church down the street. We met initially in the basement. It had no heat, but soup was always being cooked in the background. We were there at the invitation of Father Terence Rochevelle from Guyana initially, and he was an immigrant to Red Bank who was the rector of St. Thomas, who graciously asked his vestry to host lunch break. Norma was there from the beginning. However, what a lot of people forget is that Norma was not alone. Her wonderful husband was, I believe, one of the first African-American Department of State diplomats in the 1960s. And when he retired, he and Norma moved to Red Bank. And Jim Todd was there, and he was the secretary of the original Board of Trustees. He took the minutes, and he was meticulous. Father Rochevelle, of course, Grace Schaffel, who was on the original board, and a lady that meant a lot for the residents of this neighborhood that I know, Juanita, Councilwoman Lewis, as well as Councilwoman Lee, remember fondly, and that was the late Joan Jenkins, who was a cousin of Norma Todd. So Joan lived right around the corner on Pearl Street, and I remember sitting with Father Rochevelle, and we all said, you know, Father, we're going to be here for a while. And he said, no, this thing is only going to last about a year or two. And then after the soup kitchen opened, I remember Father Rochevelle stepping down and said, we need bigger space because this is going to be here for a while. The embryonic dream is what you see today. It's mushroomed into a full-fledged home. I don't call it a service agency. I call it a home, Gwen, for people to meet, to congregate, to dine, to have spiritual renewal as well as nutritional renewal, and most importantly, hope. I want to thank the Board of Trustees. I want to thank all the donors, the clients, Gwen, you and your staff, for continue to have faith in Red Bank because we have faith in you. Thank you.
There you go, more history about Mrs. Todd. And I must say that we have such support here in Red Bank. You know, each time we've gone to the boards, we have just gotten the support that we needed to continue to do the work that we do. So we are very, very appreciative of the fact that you're here and all the others are here, all the other dignitaries. You can't get things done if you don't have the support of your government officials. So we all have to work together to make things happen. Without further ado, I think that I've gotten all the speakers so far up to this time. So I'm going to pull out my little cheat sheet, and I'll get started. Okay. So, you know, I want to just kind of talk about why we're here today, why we're all gathered here today. Because we are a people who still believe in the midst of all the social ills that exist throughout the world, in this nation, our state, county, the social and political discord, the COVID, inflation, all the things that happen in the world, inequality of all kinds, that collectively we can make a difference. The problems and barriers create opportunities for people to come together and solve that we humans know we have the capacity to do. We can solve problems and we can make change. And that's why we're here. We're a collective group of people that are working together for the positive impact on behalf of others. And that's why we're here. And so Lunch Break is expanding for one purpose, and that is to make that impact on the many lives that we are honored to have the opportunity to serve. There's a lot I want to say, and a lot of times, which is why I have to write stuff down, because I'll go all over the place. But I just want to just kind of share with you a little bit about what happened during COVID at Lunch Break. So obviously, like everyone else, we had to shut down. We supposedly shut down. We had to change our method of providing services. And so my amazing, dedicated, hardworking, creative staff, we stopped serving our food and our clothing and all of our service on our traditional way on a Saturday, because we open 6 days a week. And on Monday, we opened up and had totally transitioned how we served. Lunch Break never closed our doors. We never stopped serving. Everybody can continue to be served. We never stopped. And so I just have to give props really to my staff that are all over everywhere, because those that could not go home, because I said you have to continue to cook and provide, pantry food and clothing and all that. I just want to say thank you so much. That was my kitchen staff, the pantry staff, the maintenance staff that continue to pick up food with the trucks and kept the building running and everything. Just have to say thank you. And then I got to say thank you to those that we had to send home, because it was difficult, but people had to go home and they had to work at home. And so our development staff and our administrative staff and our finance team and the program staff, and what they did to continue to keep Lunch Break whole, continue to work at home. I mean, people were using their dining room tables and their kids' tables and whatever, their couches and whatever they had to do, but they kept Lunch Break going. They kept Lunch Break going. Bills got paid, and everything. Our life skills program, they transitioned all the programs into virtual, and the clothing staff continued to pack up bags of clothing and get to people. I mean, everyone just continued to work. Lunch Break, if you didn't see us, you didn't know that it was a seamless process. People continued to get food in the pantry as well. Just drive around like everybody else, pop your trunk, and people got food. So we continue to do that because we were just committed and still committed that we were not going to miss a meal for anyone. And so, but during this COVID, in addition to all that, in addition to all the other services, the regular services that we were providing, that the staff changed and transitioned, we did a few more things. I want to just share you with a few more things that we were busy doing during COVID. So we expanded the territory of our homebound meals into Monmouth Beach. With seed money of $50,000 from the Stone Foundation, we developed a COVID Emergency Relief Fund and paid out over $900,000 to pay living expenses for families throughout Monmouth County. That $50,000 ballooned into that much money, over $900,000, because of donors, the generosity of donors and the board members as well. We developed the Alliance for Success program in collaboration with the Red Bank High School, working with juniors and seniors, preparing them for when they graduate. We changed our logo, as you see. We changed our logo, and with the support of the K-Frame Foundation, we developed a nutrition initiative. And we modified our plans for this expansion, because we had plans already on the table, but then when the expansion hit, we said, wow, there are things we can't do because of a pandemic. What if another one comes up? We want to be ready. So we made modifications during COVID for our expansion. And then, of course, it was approved by the Red Bank Zoning Board. So thank you all again. And, oh yeah, by the way, we completed a merger with the Family Promise of Monmouth County. And so we have now welcomed Family Promise of Monmouth County into the family of Lunch Break, and they are now part of Lunch Break, and we're so excited and thankful to have them as part of us. So how does all this get accomplished? Okay. This is where it gets really real. First of all, we have an amazing Board of Trustees. Our Board of Trustees are second to none. They are hardworking, they're committed to our mission, they roll their sleeves up, and they actually get busy. And so we thank them for their vision, their commitment, and their time, and just all that they bring. You know, this is a really, it's not a very corporate, I mean, we have a strong governance, but the love and the compassion that they have, you know, it's just a special group of people that help to run this organization. And then we have an advisory council. We have an advisory council, and I have to say the same. These are people, I'll tell you, we only meet twice a year, but when there's a need in the community, we throw an email out, and all of a sudden stuff starts happening. I can do this, I know this person, or whatever, and that's just how they are. They make things happen. And then the dream team, the staff. The staff. The staff. They are the heart and soul to get stuff done at lunch break. I'm telling you, we have the dream team, and they are hardworking, committed. You know, they're committed and dedicated. And then we have our volunteers. I mean, we have volunteers at lunch break. Yes, we do. And they are truly, they come with heart. They ask for nothing but to continue to work. And they love and get a lot out of what they do at lunch break. And we could not grow, we couldn't have the capacity to do the work that we do without all the volunteers that we have. So in addition to today's effort, this expansion has become a reality due to the helping hands of our Capital Campaign Committee, our Construction Committee, our project manager, John Brill, and I was messing up your name, Brazalzi. John? Eric Wagner, our architect, and all the other professionals that worked on our plans, and also Larry Sykoff and Jennifer Anderson, who have helped to lead our capital campaign. And thank you all so much for all of what you're doing. And I also want to make mention, you know, all the staff are amazing, as I said earlier. But for this project, we have two staff members that I really want to lift up. And that is Kevin McGee, Director of Operations. And also Jill Guadil. They again, hardworking, you know, and just, I mean, really, truly, this engine is moving internally because of the two of them. And I just can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Thank you. You can give them another hand. They deserve it. Trust me. And why we do what we do, I just want to share with you just one of the many lives who we've had an impact on. Miss Lutencia, who is not able to be with us today, but she is a Haitian immigrant and one of the first students in our ESL classes taught by Millie Diaz, right there, at the Life Skills Center. Upon improving her English, she went on to receive her U.S. citizenship. She obtained employment at Seabrook Senior Living. She saved enough money to purchase a home and is now studying to be a nurse and volunteering to help her beloved Haitian community. We celebrate her focus and determination to do the necessary work to move forward, as well as our staff and our coaches that worked along throughout her journey. So we just want to say thank you. And there's so many people that we can say that we have touched. But in my closing, I want to share with you that while I was preparing what to say today, I asked my daughter, Shani, what would you want to hear from the executive director at this ceremony? And first she said, just keep it short. I got that. Then she said, I would want to know that when you open your doors to the new facility, the renovated kitchen, expanded dining room, pantry, life skills, etc., I want to know that you will still provide a welcoming environment for those being served, that the extension of fellowship and community will still remain the culture of lunch break, and people will be served with dignity and respect. And so I want to assure everyone that hears my voice that with certain we are renewing that promise, that Lunch Break will always treat people with dignity and respect. And when we open our doors to this new facility, it will reflect warmth, fellowship, and community. Everyone will always be welcomed at our table and our services, and we will always be about feeding the body and nourishing the soul. So thank you very much. Thank you. So I get the honor and pleasure also of bringing up some of our very, very special people that have helped along the way to make this happen at Lunch Break. We have our honorary captain co-chairs, Paul and Margot Hooker, that are with us today, who have done an amazing job. And Paul and Margot have been with Lunch Break for many years, and they knew Mrs. Todd as well. And we could not be where we are without the help and support of our donors who have blessed us from day one and continue to be a blessing. So, Paul and Margot.
So Margot and I have a 48-year running joke. Margot, would you like to do the honors? No. I always put her on the spot, but I'm allowed to do that. First off, I want to give a shout out to our other half of this, John and Tracy Stewart, who could not be with us today. Now, Gwen didn't want me to say why John couldn't be here today, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. John Stewart has a fear of getting up in front of crowds. I mean, who knew? Right, Gwen? No, I'm sure they have their very good reasons. So I just want to say two things about him. As most of you know, John on Sunday, he was honored to receive the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, which is like the Super Bowl of comedians. And that will be aired on June 21 on PBS. I saw it, I watched some of it. He's an amazing individual. And last year, our last gala, John shared it, and we raised more money for Lunch Break than we've ever raised before. So John really gets in, and he walks the walk as well. Not to be left out, Tracy's she's unbelievable. She's working on an initiative of nutritious health along with Robin. And think of that paradigm that's going to change. Instead of just people bringing stuff, who knows if it's nutritious, we just want to feed them. That's all going to change with this new initiative. It's going to be healthy food. And that's Tracy Stewart's initiative. So I applaud them both, as well as being generous financial supporters of Lunch Break. So this is just a glorious day. I will not share everything I know about Norma Todd because I would be here all day. Margot and I started with Norma about 35 years ago in various roles. And these are the words that come to mind. Kindness, respect, dignity, humility, loving, diligent, and compassionate. Oddly enough, they're also the same words that describe the only other executive director we've had, Gwen Love. So it's amazing the number of individuals that Lunch Break has served over the years. It's sadly amazing. And the need continues. What started as a lunch program 39 years ago, with the completion of this project, will culminate in a totally integrated resource center. Yes, of course, first and foremost is the never-ending struggle to defeat food insecurity. And that endeavor will continue in an improved way by adding a nutritious component to our offers, which I just mentioned about Tracy and Robin Klein. But what Margot and I are most excited about is the Life Skills Center. It's run by superstars. I don't throw that around lightly. Marianne Lasardo. Where's Marianne? And Eleanor Herdine. Dynamic duo. However, the newest component is Marcel Quinones. Marcel, raise your hand, please. Marcel jumped on board with a brand new initiative. Like, Gwen hasn't started enough things. So she started another program that Marcel is taking over, and it's called the Alliance for Success. And the Alliance for Success is a joint venture with the tremendous staff of the guidance counselors at Red Bank Regional High School. It's a mentoring program of 16 juniors and senior students, preparing them for life post-high school. I was honored to be selected as one of the mentors of a 16-year-old student who really doesn't know what he doesn't know. So it's a tremendous program. And congratulations, Marcel. So the old biblical adage of give a man a fish and he eats for a day, teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime. Yes, we need to give the fish for daily sustenance, but to teach a man to fish, as a lunch break life skills program does, so profoundly changes the lives of those we humbly serve forever. Please join Margot and me in supporting the Life Skills Center and everything that Lunch Break does with a generous donation to our capital campaign. Without all of you and generous donations, this is not going to happen. So we appreciate that. When the Life Skills is completed, it'll move from its current location, which is over near the Grove in Shrewsbury, to this new facility. And what a glorious day that will be. So, in closing, thank you. Thank you for all coming. Thank you for everything you do. I got a funny story. Should I tell it, Tammy? So the First Lady's coming around and she's speaking with everybody. She's being introduced to everybody, and Millie brought her up to me, and she kind of got to my face and she said, Paul, I just want to thank you and Margot, and I've never said this to anybody before, but I looked at her, she had no name tag on. I said, who are you? I mean, she said, I'm the governor's wife. I'm like, oh, dear God. Fortunately, I'm a left of center and a supporter of her husband, so it's all good. Thank you, everybody.
So I actually do have a nice message from John and Tracy Stewart that they wanted me to read today. They unfortunately could not be here today. It says, hello everyone. We are so sorry not to be able to be here in person on this incredibly exciting day. What a moment, not just for Lunch Break, but for the Red Bank and Monmouth County. We're so thankful to be a part of this wonderful community, and so looking forward to all the initiatives that will come from this needed expansion. The Life Skills, Nutrition Initiative, Family Promise, just to name a few. And John wants to make sure it is understood just how much he wants to be a part of the demolition team. He really likes breaking things. Can't wait to see all this in person and continue this fantastic journey. So thank you, Tracy, for putting that together. Thank you. So we are going to go on. We also have our campaign co-chair, other campaign co-chairs here, John Klein and Robin, John and Robin Klein. John is the past Board of Trustees of Lunch Break and president, and Robin Klein is the current vice president on the Board of Trustees for Lunch Break. We'll also bring up, Valerie Montecalvo. She's also a campaign co-chair as well. So you want to come up together? Okay.
I'll let John go first.
Thank you. I'm very lucky to be up here with Valerie and Robin. That is quite a duo. That's quite a tag team. I wanted to, Paul, you and Margot, totally. I was going to do it, but you guys bleed Lunch Break. It is, heart and soul. It's really so much. It means so much. And I have to tell you, Twin Love, I mean, nicest woman ever, fearless. This woman is fearless. I mean, look where we are. You know, we're doing a great job, knock on wood, with the capital campaign. We got out ahead on the skis. We got the property next door. We got the designs, got everything approved, ready to go. But that takes guts.
Takes help.
You got it, girl. And I do want to thank Tammy, another fearless woman in our lives. Thank you so much. First Lady, I'm sorry. First Lady, you know, you got your boots on the ground. You help so many people and so many organizations. Thank you so much for coming to help. At lunch break, we really, heart and soul to you as well. I did have some prepared, but, you know, it's hard to go from at that point. Oh, I was going to say, so I've been to a few groundbreakings from shopping centers over the years. But what's great about this groundbreaking, I can actually say we're doing God's work, right? So, I think it's been mentioned. I think one of the strengths of Lunch Break, many strengths, but the volunteerism at this group is amazingly strong. And the people come in, they get involved, and they stay with this organization. And every year, from year to year. So I do want to thank some really incredible people from our construction committee. Just raise your hands. Everybody who's involved or been on the construction committee. So many people, so much fun. Thank you so much. We've been working for probably 2 years now. And a lot of meetings, a lot of great ideas. We're very, very lucky. And I would like to thank all of our team of consultants who took direction from a committee. It's not always easy to work with a committee, but they did a great job, right? So please everybody, architects, engineers, traffic planner, Eric Wagner, John McCormick, who else is here? Nicole here. Thank you so much, and I know I'm missing one or two. Could not have done it without, as Gwen mentioned, the staff, the volunteers, the advisory council, the trustees. So many people have given their time. This is a culmination of really over 5 years, almost 7 years. I would like to say the story that this was in the teeth of the recession. We had just literally finished our expansion, and some lovely donors said to us, you know, that property next door to you is empty. If that ever becomes an opportunity, you know, we'd like to fund that for you. So sure enough, we kept our eye on it, and it went to sheriff's auction, and we were there, and we bid for Lunch Break, and it was meant to be, right? Once again, God's work, right? Yeah. So, so it was literally 6, 7 years ago, Gwen said, we got to get that property and make it happen. Just fearless, fearless. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I would like to bring up my fearless wife, Robin.
Not a lot scares me, but when I look around this crowd, I like to tell two stories. One, John and I had the opportunity to find this beautiful community years ago when we lived first full-time in the city. And my niece was coming for Thanksgiving. And instead of saying, I want to go shopping and see a Broadway show, she said, I'd like to volunteer somewhere over Thanksgiving. So we started making some calls, and somebody said, you should call Lunch Break. We did. They'd already had their volunteers set up on Thanksgiving Day, but they said, if you want to put together some meals and bring them over, you know, we always have somebody in need. So we got a little Congo line together. We went to our wonderful food town, which, by the way, I don't know if Lou Scaduto's here. When we talk about people and community, it's people like Lou at Food Town who keep this, our retailers, our sponsors, our people who donate the food to us. And when Miss Love says not a meal missed, they are standing behind us, Jersey Mike's. When we have issues where we don't have the dining room open, they were here, and they were helping us make sure no one missed a meal. So we show up on Thanksgiving Day with all sorts of grocery bags, and we meet this amazing person and fell in love. We live in this community because of Miss Love. And we will always be grateful to her, the staff, the volunteers. This place is not just a place, it is our home. It's in our DNA. We will always be grateful that we have the opportunity to be here with the amazing people who make this work. So we thank you, and she knows whatever she wants she will get, because we feel so blessed to be here. When I look around this room, all I can think is how lucky are we? And we know, it is never lost on John and I how lucky we are to be where we're standing. So we thank you for that. The second, and Tracy was going to speak a little bit more about it, our nutrition committee. Actually, we don't even have a word for it because it will truly be in the DNA of Lunch Break. Everything we do, health and wellness, and we found this, and Dr. Penn, I think, just showed up on our little small 3-man committee of the board when some of the staff, as we started out saying, you cannot heal the body without the correct and nourishment in food. It's medicine. We saw this through the pandemic. When the #1 growing disease out there is diabetes, when 45% of the people in our country have an underlying illness, we have to do better, and we've done well, but trust me, we are going to do better. We were on tiptoe saying, how do we go to people and tell them, we're taking things off the shelf. There are going to be things that we no longer think are right to serve our clients who deserve to eat just as well as everyone who is donating the food. We're serious about that. And I'm going to say real quick, the biggest one was like, how do you tell Pepsi you're no longer going to serve soda? Well, guess what? Didn't surprise them. Pepsi will go on and do just fine, but we won't have Pepsi on our shelves. We're serious about it. Ms. Love said, we are doing this, and we are, and we thank you for that. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. And now, not only is she such a strong supporter, you mentioned any nonprofit in this community, or actually across the country, the Montecalvo family, Bayshore Properties, is there. Every time we turn around, every time we have a need, you make a call, Valerie's there. And I'm blessed to have her in my inner circle, one of my best friends. She raises the bar for me daily. And thank you.
Thank you for that, everyone. Well, my husband, first off, Frank, apologizes. He was stuck back at the office today, and he had to miss this beautiful event. But I am humbled and honored to be here, and usually I'm the spokesperson for the group anyway, so I understand that. When Frank and I were asked by Robin and John about 4 years ago to come and tour Lunch Break, we knew about Lunch Break, but as our family and our businesses grew, we were mostly involved in philanthropy with a lot of environmental organizations and construction and recycling organizations, and we were all about sustainability and preservation and commitment to the environment. And so as we started to see that there was so much more, that without, you can just protect the environment, but really we need to protect people, we need to feed people. And we came and we toured Lunch Break, and we fell in love with Gwen Love, and we saw the amazing work that was going on here. So when we were asked to help co-chair, we said, absolutely, tell us what we can do. I thought I was going to help with the demolition too, so I'm hoping that I could still get out there and get on a machine, because construction was our first business and allows me to be here today. But I hope that through this expansion and having everything under one roof, the efficiencies of the organization is just going to skyrocket exponentially. And I know that as you grow, I'm hoping that I'll be there and our family will be there to help you with sustainability, recycling, show you how to recycle better, show you how to save money, and then also help with whatever we can do financially to make Lunch Break grow and grow. Because it is love, and it's such a big part of this community. And by looking out at all of you, I know that you feel the same way. So we're here for you, Gwen, and all of you in any way, in any capacity. We stand with the Kleins, and I just thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. Thank you.
behind schedule or on schedule or anything, I don't know. But we do have, okay. So Dr. Penn, who is a board member of Lunch Break, was a little delayed, but she's here, and she is actually a very close relative of Mrs. Todd, and we actually had her on the program. So she's now here, and we just love to have you speak. Thank you so much.
I am good. I had to go get an emergency passport, yes, if you ever do that. But anyway, so I'm so glad to be here, passport in hand. Leaving on a medical mission trip tomorrow to the Gambia, but inspired by this lady right here, I called her Aunt Norma. Norma Todd and my mom, Alma Penn, and also Norma's sister Irene and Uncle Jimmy Todd, Aunt Norma's husband, were all very good friends. And Aunt Norma is from Red Bank, and so she and my mom grew up together. And so I don't have any memories without not knowing her. Just like when I look out on all of you, I literally see people from all phases of my life. I see neighbors, I see relatives. I'm a proud fourth generation Red Banker, and yes! A Red Bank buck, a graduate of Red Bank Regional High School, and walked around the corner and went to elementary school at Mechanic Street on the east side. So, this place is in my DNA. The little church on the corner, AME Zion, was where my parents married. It was where I was christened. This west side is in my blood. It's where my godparents lived. It's where I saw dentists and doctors and teachers and social workers that looked like me, and I knew what I could be because of people like Aunt Norma. And whenever Aunt Norma and Uncle Jimmy came back from their faraway and fascinating places, Uncle Jimmy was actually the 11th African American to become part of the United States Diplomatic Corps. And so it was like, whoa, they lived in places like Chad and Israel and Nigeria. Oh my goodness, and whoa, where was, I used to go in the World Book and look up, where are they? It was fascinating. Coralie and Cynthia, their daughters, went to boarding schools in places like France and Switzerland. They spoke languages like German and French. It was fascinating to be around them. And it was one day, it was like 1972, I'm going to tell my age, I was like 15 or 16, and we were in Barbados. We had been invited to one of their posts, and it was a nearby post, so we could get there fairly quickly. And Aunt Norma was talking about when she retired, she knew there was one place in the world where she wanted to live again, and that was Red Bank. This community, this town where she grew up, where she played, where she went to church, where she went to school. And she also knew that in this town there were challenges, that while she had had certain opportunities, there were people here that were going to bed hungry at night. There were children here that were going to bed hungry at night. And in her work diplomatically, she had been with the Girl Guides and had set up programs all over the world, and a lot of them were about feeding the people in the communities where they were serving. She said, there are people hungry at home, and I want to go home and make sure that the people that I call neighbor are going to bed with a warm meal at night. See, a lot of people, when they do what the Todd's done, they don't come back home. They don't recognize that there are problems right here at home. But she was committed. She had another vision. She had another dream. And every time she would come back to visit, she would talk about this place she wanted to build. Now, it didn't exist. There was no lunch break here. But she said, I'm going to feed the hungry people that are in Red Bank. And so, sure enough, a few years later, when she didn't retire, they were 80. when they came back here. Who starts a non-for-profit and changes the world at 80? But anyway, there was another possibility, again, a casting, a vision of a future, creating a way where there was no way, and making a demonstration of what is possible. And it all started with her imagination, her heart, her vision, and her commitment. And she would speak this again and again and again. And so this little girl from Red Bank got to benefit from that. And when this little girl from Red Bank, I have to say, I borrowed a page from her notebook. I too decided that I wanted to travel the world. I too decided that I wanted to make a difference. And I too decided that when I had an opportunity, I wanted to come back and make a difference in my own hometown. And I couldn't be more delighted than to say thank you, Aunt Norma. And thank you, Miss Love, who asked me to make that difference and become involved with Lunch Break. And it is, you know, it's my heart, it's my home. You all are my heart. You all are my home. And I am so delighted to just share a little bit of the Aunt Norma that I knew and loved with all of you. Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful and well worth the wait, Dr. Penn. Well worth the wait. Thank you. And so now I'm honored to also bring up my staff. I have many right hands at the job, and Jill is definitely one of them. I want to bring her up, and she's going to continue with the rest of the program. Just want to say thank you all again for this day, making it so special. And our hearts, I think, are full. They really are full. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for coming today and making this day so incredibly memorable. It's been a total labor of love for everybody, and I can't tell you how grateful and how wonderful we all feel to be here sharing this with you. So Lunch Break is proud to announce that First Energy, a longtime corporate partner, has recently made a commitment of $100,000 to the campaign. So we're truly grateful. Okay, a little louder. Okay, sorry. We're truly grateful for First Energy's ongoing support, especially as Lunch Break continues to grow to meet the ever-increasing needs of those experiencing food and financial insecurity and who need a steady path to help break the cycle of poverty. First Energy, together with all of our other business partners who have made commitments to support the Promise of Hope campaign, including Heritage House Sotheby's International Realty, HBK Consultants, Jersey Mike's, Arnold Steel, A Child's Place, and New Jersey Natural Gas, invites the corporate community to join them in building a future of security, dignity, and self-sufficiency for our neighbors in need. Lorna Wisham, who is the president of the First Energy Foundation, flew all the way from Ohio to be with us here today. So we would like for her to come up and make some comments. We want to thank you for making the journey to help us celebrate this wonderful occasion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jill. Wow. I am over there. I thought it was the wind, but it's actually just the emotion of the love, pun intended, Gwen, that is in this room today. My eyes are tearing up. My voice is quivering. There is so much love in this space. We don't often get a chance to really engage with the organizations that we are funding. I don't know, Elaine, however many hundreds of grants that we give out annually. This one today has moved me. Thank you, Elaine, for actually putting Lunch Break on my radar so that I had an opportunity to come last summer and do a walkthrough. Met Gwen, met Jill, fell in love with the program, and I'm in love with this even so much more after today. So thank you really for the opportunity to be here for this groundbreaking today. And it is, of course, I think the First Lady is maybe already departed, but wonderful to be a part of the program with the mayor and with the other public and elected officials that I think may or may not still be here. The First Energy Foundation, as Jill's mentioned, has been a longtime corporate supporter of Lunch Break. We also supported the very first campaign, which helped to build the building next door in 2014. So I'm delighted to be able to come back, and Jill has already announced to say that a $100,000 contribution, I think that deserves a round of applause. $100,000 contribution to this campaign is something we are really, really excited about. And we truly hope that our efforts and this commitment to Lunch Break inspires others. I know there's been some discussion about whether or not we would do a challenge, if you will, to other corporate businesses out there. I won't necessarily call it a challenge, but I would say that Charlie and Trudy, who I had a chance to talk to a little while ago, really put it on my heart to actually say something, to really try to find a way to close that gap, which I understand isn't very big right now, right? So if there are any other corporate partners out here, or if anyone here has any access to corporations, please, please, please join us in this incredible opportunity to really build another home for so many people and continue the work of service of Lunch Break here in Monmouth County. We really hope that our efforts here not only inspire corporate partners, but individual donors as well. And we heard very personal, if you will, comments and feelings from some of the campaign chairs about why it was important to them to be a part of not only Lunch Break, but really seeing Lunch Break's goals be achieved in the future. You know, when making decisions about charitable giving, the First Energy Foundation has 4 priorities, and they are improving the quality of life of our communities that we serve across 5 states, I may add, empowering our communities' workforce development and education initiatives, supporting our local, regional, and economic development efforts as well, and of course, lastly, supporting our volunteers, our employees, and their volunteer and leadership interests. And it's not often that a grantee actually checks all 4 boxes. So this was a decision that really wasn't hard for me to make, and certainly not hard for our trustees to make either. So the planned expansion, which I look forward to breaking the ground, or whatever you call it, with the shovel in. Looking forward to really participating in that, but more importantly, coming back in 18 months or so to really cut the ribbon so that Gwen and her incredibly dedicated staff, many of whom are here today, can really begin to undertake the next phase of Lunch Break's purpose in our community. So I am delighted to be here. I wish I had had the opportunity to meet Ms. Todd, but I feel that through, and I'm not sure if you're related, but through the young lady that spoke earlier, that I do feel like I know her a little bit better. And her amazing vision of creating a caring community where people are fed and nurtured in body and soul. That really struck me. It really struck me. It is something that I hope that the foundation really continues to identify organizations and opportunities to continue those kinds of missions and purposes here in New Jersey. And that effort that Ms. Todd set forth really continues to play out, and to hear that when you are the second executive director, I think maybe the last executive director, in the sense that what you leave in terms of your legacy going forward and the legacy of the work of the board, the advisory councils, the campaign co-chairs, and everyone that's been involved in this. I wish you great, great success. And it really is the honor. I feel like I'm in Oz a little bit. But it feels really an honor for the First Energy Foundation to be a part of this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorna. Thank you for being here. I'm also really fortunate today to be able to introduce to you a pair of Lunch Break's most ardent supporters and dearest friends. Abe and Linda Littenberg have been involved with Lunch Break since forever, and giving generously of their resources, time, inspiration, and love for the organization and those we serve. They volunteer, delivering homebound meals, and sit on multiple committees. Abe serves on our advisory board and has also played an integral role in the expansion, serving on both the capital campaign and the construction committees. We're beyond grateful for all that they do for us, and not just for us, but for the greater community at large. So thank you, Abe, and please come up and share some comments and thoughts. I don't know, did Linda want to come up? Are you going to come up? No. Okay.
Thank you, Jill. I think it's interesting that they have me listed under inspiration. All I can say is, if you need inspiration, just revisit all of the presentations that you've heard today. I mean, everyone here, they're inspiring. All the people who work, all the people who sit back and admire and support us. And I can connect a lot of the presentations so many people gave us. Mayor Mena spoke about keeping it short. I will do that. He also mentioned the love. You heard the word home. You heard the word love a lot. I gotta say that the one thing that distinguishes this is the love that everyone in this organization has. That is the staff, the volunteers, and you know, the clients. They share that affection for each other, and it's palpable. It's really incredible. We got involved, Linda and I, with Lunch Break 25 years ago. We owned a school called A Child's Place, and they did a food drive. And Linda made the delivery. She brought it from there to here and came home and spoke about it. And we continue to speak about it and get more and more involved over the years. Coincidentally, the food drive is going on now with a focus on nutritional eating. The list of things that we were asked to acquire, all are good, nutritious foods. But as time went on, we got more and more involved. And I call it a certain kind of gravity. When you get near, you get pulled in. And like Hotel California, you can never leave. So it really is extraordinary, and we get so much out of it. I think everyone who's involved with this gets a whole lot out of it. And the spirit of this place is extraordinary. I'll tell you a little story. We do home deliveries a couple days a week. And one day in our email to all the home delivery people was a mention that someone wasn't receiving their lunches. They thought that it was being taken. And it turned out to be a misunderstanding. They weren't being taken, but the response that Tyrone had, the chef, our executive chef, was, if someone's taking these meals, they need them. We need to find them and take care of them. This is so quintessential Lunch Break that I was very impressed and very, very pleased to be in an organization that thinks that way. And I just want to say thank you, everyone that's here. And we appreciate donations. I think you've heard before, we're not quite at our goal. We could use more. And you know, I just want to say thank you all.
Now we're going to have a performance by one of our new board members, Michael Mills. He's a member of the Board of Trustees, and he's the founder of an organization called Kids Conscious Youth Development and Service. Michael is going to recite a poem. I don't see him though. Oh, here he is. Here he comes. All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you. clap once you hear my voice? Okay, all right. Get any claps. But peace and love, everybody. My name is Michael Mills. I am a co-creator of Conscious Youth Development and Service. And what I will say and begin by saying is, Miss Love, our orbits crossed a long, long time ago. Our families, our friends back at the Edwards. Yes, I was a little one, and I'm glad there were some older ones around because one day I almost drowned in the pool, and some of the older ones saved me, and I wouldn't be here without it. But I do want to lift that up because Miss Love and her family here at Lunch Break, it is all about love. You know, and I've been able to witness Lunch Break over the years, volunteering with Lunch Break and the Male Mentor Program and the other factions. But what I see within the staff is creating the impact that we see outside. And I really want to lift up the leadership that has created a culture of love, because anyone can hand out food, but when you do it with love, it's something special. And I truly say that because the positive influence and impact of every individual comes full circle, right? And I like that we're mentioning nutrition now in regards to food insecurity, because it's not just enough to give someone a plate to eat. We have to give them food that's going to sustain a lifestyle where they're able to get back on their feet. All right, and I do a lot of work with trauma, and I do a lot of work with youth and the impact of childhood and poverty and not having the right foods to eat. It has long-term effects in regards to like the ACEs, the childhood adverse childhood experience study, and you start to see the trajectory of our youth. But when you do it, when you give them the right nutrition, you give them the right love, those ingredients can change the trajectory of somebody's life. And I will say, and Eric's in the space, from that Male Mentor Program, we had a few youth in middle school, and I just saw a youth this past month. I did an assembly at Monmouth Regional High School, and one of our beloved youth who gave us a lot of energy, you know, came up to me and just started talking about all the positive things they're doing with their lives now and the positive things that they have planned for the future. So I just want to lift that up because it is very impactful. So without any further ado, I want to give you this poem, and this poem is called The Heart of Survival, and it's really built on a lot of the work I've seen over the 15 years I've been working in the community, working in soup kitchens and working in different functions around food insecurity and the community. It makes a big impact, but these are the stories that live with me and carry me forth each and every day. So this is called The Heart of Survival. The dark nights don't empathize for those without roof over their heads, and their families shielded by a parent's arms holding the warmth of any bedtime story. You would have thought children slept with unicorns and dragons, imaginations of magic carpets traveling through galaxies. One day, this child will dream of a home for their family to live in. Weather has never slowed for the skin that bears none of its mercy and all of its wrath. Mother Nature does not discriminate. She pours all of her rain to the soil of trees to deepen their roots. And one day, our families will have deep enough roots, withstanding the rain under their own roofs. I knew a Victor who slept under the Long Branch Boardwalk, shielding himself not from the rain, but from the distaste of society. How can a man so proud fall to his own pride? See, Victor knew this was just a moment in time. In this moment of time, he did what he needed to remain alive. For Victor, this was no lifetime of sorrow, but just a wrinkle in time for what that time has borrowed. The fall from grace from a Wall Street career can be too much for some to bear. But Victor knew that the stock market would rise and crash, the ebbs and flows of life, and one day his stock price will get him back on his feet. A bear market would provide shelter over his head, and one day, homeless could be home more. I knew an Elvis who remained steady in his rock and roll. See, Robert spent his life impersonating a musical legend. And with his glowing smile and compassionate presence, you would think he was impersonating the legends that had survived on these streets. Moving from space to space, creating miracles to find food to eat. Now that Robert is back on his feet, he comes back to the same soup kitchen, week after week, where we, his family, welcome him with open arms, returning home. I knew a young man the same age as me, sleeping in the street while I was pursuing a college degree. Two of the same worlds couldn't be further apart. But we joined every Saturday with a plate extending from my hand to his. Soft words of comfort didn't minimize his pain. We knew we'd walk our separate ways to one day meet again, exchanging full plates of food for full hearts of hope. My hope is that this young man would find his path. His name was Ace, and he was dealt a hand with everything but. Like blackjack, I know a king resides inside. The perfect hand, and he will triumph beyond his name. Many would see these individuals with lack in their eyes. Shortage of food, shortage of home, but I know nothing weak of these legends. Victor, Ace, Elvis, and too many more have shown me that family expands beyond my home. And my home has become the softness of their smile, the laughter of their jokes, the strength of their willpower, the memories that have made life worth living. Martin Luther King Jr. says, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. How can we justify walking outside, seeing members of our own community below their needs? What decency is it to walk past individuals with their entire household, hand in hand, living street to street, corner to corner? An advocate that I know has thrown away the term homelessness. He says there is nothing less than home about a person who has survived the pain that others couldn't endure. Turning concrete into Bed Bath and Beyonds, beyond the limitations of walls. He describes these individuals as warriors, prophets, shadows of the night, and reflections of the light. He welcomes his brothers and sisters as homies. Because home is where the heart is, and all of our hearts are connected. Home is where the heart is, and all of our hearts are connected. Home is where the heart is, and all of our hearts are connected. Thank you. And I do want to extend another round of applause and gratitude to Gwen, the staff, board of trustees, everyone here, because it takes a beloved community to create the change that we're creating, right? And all of us coming together, it's a ripple effect that's going to affect those beyond Monmouth County, throughout the state of New Jersey and throughout the world. So changing one life, including your own, is changing the world, and I want to lift that up, and I give gratitude for all of you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really beautiful. So we're going to have a toast, and Paul Hooker's our Toastmaster this afternoon. They were passing around glasses of champagne. If you don't have one, you can head over there. I think they have trays out, and I think we're going to bring one up here for our staff. And just some other, after the toast, if all of the speakers could go to the back, we're going to have another picture, yet another picture. And we also have some really amazing oatmeal cookies in a little bag for you please to take home. Otherwise, we're going to eat them all, and I don't want to do that. And we also have a nice swag bag with some information in it, too. So I'm going to turn this over to Paul, and he's going to close us out with a toast. And then we'll see you back over there for pictures.
Thank you, Jill. It's very quick. 3 little. So if we could all raise a glass, I'd like to propose a toast to a successful completion of our campaign to build this game-changing facility. added strength and fortitude for everyone who shares the tenet of helping our fellow man. And lastly, and to all the blessed people here today, prayers for good health and happiness. Cheers, everybody.
Okay, so if we can get the speakers really quickly back to the corner for a photo by the shovels, please.